something. Okay. So call recording is on. That means that everything that we say and we do here will be recorded on some server, probably in California, deep underground, being cooled by waterfalls or something like that. And I will be sharing this webinar information with everybody in the form of the recording shortly after it's done. And I'd ask my team, as always, if there's any audio or video issues with the call so that things are not being properly communicated, please let me know. But we've done a lot of these webinars over time, and one of the things that I found really helps with the quality of the control is to mute the audience, simply because you can have kids in the background, you can have compressors going off, you've got ratchets, you've got tractors being moved. A lot of people join us from the road. So typically I like to mute everybody, but if you do feel the need to chime in, you can always hit *6 and unmute yourself and join in. But typically the best practice is text me. Text me your questions or comments, and we can certainly work with those and address those as we go. This is a very, good morning, Karen. This is an important call. We've been doing a lot of backstage stuff here in May, preparing for what we feel is going to be a really big season based on our growth curve, and I'll talk more about that. But June is going to be a really big month for us, and May was a huge month for us last year based on the early order program. This year, strategically, we decided to move the early order program to June and do our big marketing push for fall in June. And I think that that's going to be strategically a good move. We'll see how it pans out. I know last May was extremely strong. This May was a lot quieter. But I think it was good that we weren't chasing people on the cedar, and I think it's good that we're going to be working in the infrastructure of our early order program here in June. I think it's going to be a good fit. So before I get started here, I just want to impart a little bit of wisdom from our patriarch, my father, Harvey Eberhart. It's kind of a funny little thing I found when I was going through my slides. And his quote, one of many famous quotes that Harvey often says is, payments get you out of bed in the morning, Harvey Eberhart. So I thought I'd impart that little bit of wisdom. On and upward with the agenda here, I'm going to talk a little bit about the scoreboard. That's a favorite of mine. I think it's always good to measure what's going on and what you're doing, and to be able to see where you are in the mighty game of market share and sales. We're going to talk about our goals and projections for the coming fiscal year or crop year, however you want to look at it. I want to introduce you guys to our new account manager, Brent Becker, who's just joined us. And he's going to tell us a little bit about himself this morning. And we're going to get an update from Graham McMurtry, who's our star sales, marketing, logistics, and party coordinator. And he's going to be telling us about some of his marketing efforts and the sales process and various items that he's been working on that's really cool and really enhancing everything that we're doing together with the dealers. And an important thing that's coming up as well is the Trusted Applicator Summer Summit 2017. We have one in Regina in the summer and one in Calgary in the winter. I'm going to talk about that. And of course, I'm going to review the accounts receivable and the logistical changes that have been occurring in our business to keep you up to date, and talk a little bit about storage and June pricing and basically, hopefully, a well-rounded scenario in terms of our entire business. And of course, you guys need the new pricing going forward, and that's all going to be good. And we're going to hear from our resident guru, our sulfur guru, Keep It Simple Solberg, who's able, his genius is that he's able to take extremely complicated subjects and boil them down to their essence so that we mere mortals can understand them, and that is the nature of genius, according to Einstein. So in terms of the scoreboard, it was an interesting month. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of retooling. And we sold 1,200 acres this month. And I think that's indicative of a number of things. We had a lot of inventory out there from dealers that pre-purchased. We had product hangover from last fall, product that still needed to get spread. And so a lot of the sales that were made out of inventory and were incremental. And like I say, everybody was seeding. And frankly, I guess we're at the highest price of the season. We're going to roll that over and give everybody the opportunity to buy at the lowest price here again shortly. Our goal for this year, I'm going to back up here. Our goal for this year is 50,000 metric tons in sales, and that's very simple caveman math. We just took what we did last year and we increased it by 50%, which is very scientific, I know. But, I mean, these things are hard to measure. We did 7,000 metric tons our first year. We did 34,000 metric tons our second year. And so we're projecting 50,000 metric tons this year. Last year, in my projections to the board, I really sandbagged everything. I didn't think they're going to let me get away with that again. So I thought we needed a more realistic target. And furthermore, we needed to plan for success in terms of our team and in terms of our dealer network and everything else. I thought, let's have some realistic goals. Let's plan this out and let's execute on that. And if, you know, we fall a little bit short, which I don't think we will, at least we had a firm goal and vision in mind. And I always believe in having a vision and a mission. This is something that we've been talking a lot about internally as we've, you know, been scaling the team. And I wanted to share with you guys our 3-year vision is to get to $35 million in sales. That's 132,000 metric tons annually. That's 1.3 million acres of sales. And given that in our second year we did 25% of that, I think it's possible. And I think given that it's a macronutrient, direct to farm, all of the advantages to the products, I think that's possible. So that's kind of where we're heading. Talked about that. Now, taking a look at 2016-2017 fiscal year, which works out really nice with the cropping year, so that's basically sales from May 1st to April 30th, we put on, well, I don't know that we've got all this on, to be fair, but we moved 34,000 metric tons or 340,000 acres of biosol. And this is the distribution chart of the purchase orders, okay? The purchase orders, not the delivery, and we'll talk about that delivery scenario because it is different. So you can see, like I talked about, I have big faith for June because of what happened in May last year where we sold 8,300 metric tons. I think we had half a dealer network that we did now today. So we had a really big month on the early order program last year, and then largely we just continued through, and in our projections we were looking at about 2,000 metric tons per month of sales. We had a really big push in March and April, and that was good, and I thank everybody for their efforts on that. We delivered a massive amount of fertilizer despite weather, despite road bans, despite all kinds of other hardships. I was going to say pirates and bandits, but technically I don't think there was a whole lot of safety reports on bandits and pirates, but suffice it to say it was a challenge to get product out, but we did it. So that's what our purchase order curve looked like. I'll show you guys the actual delivery curve here shortly. So for next year, like I say, very simple math, 50% more. We probably got twice the dealer network. Everybody knows more about the product. It's not like when you say biosol, they're saying, huh? Everybody's heard about this product now, or a lot of people have heard about this product. More people have heard about this product. I wouldn't say everybody because that might not be a fair comment, but certainly the awareness is a lot higher. And when I talk to people now, they're saying, yep, we're thinking about using some for the fall. So what we want to do this year is 51,000 metric tons, is sort of a little bit of overshoot for our original target. And this is what we're shooting for June, is 12,500 metric tons. It's 125,000 acres. And with a current dealer network of close to 40, that's 3,500 acres per dealer. If we break this down into chunks, suddenly it seems a lot more digestible, a lot more realistic. And that is what we're shooting for. And we want to talk to each and every one of you about how we're going to get there. Because when we look back at our business, it was 25% of our business for the year was done on the early order program. The first month, the lowest available price for BioSol for that year. So if you're thinking strategically in what kind of business you want to have this fall, you want to be executing, thinking whatever I sell this month in June, that's going to be indicative of my year's sales. That's going to be 25% of my year's sales. And those sales in your pocket do a number of things. It helps us get product out early. It helps us say that we're having a great year and share that with the customer. It secures our orders for the fall. When you guys are looking at capital purchases, should I, shouldn't I? I mean, we had guys that were very astute in selling on the early order program, getting to that comfort level of where they're going to be in their business that fall, and then going out and getting their capital purchases aligned accordingly. That is smart and profitable business. Now, here is the metric tons shipped by month, and I thank Graham for all the wonderful charts he's been building for me here on this. Here are the metric tons that we actually ship. So obviously this is kind of interesting to overlay, which I'll do in a minute, onto our purchase order curve. So of course you can see there's not a whole lot delivered in May, June, July, and then August you start to see it picked up, and then September and October and November were our big months. December, January, February were slow. March started picking up again, and April was a massive push. And again, I thank everybody for their efforts in getting product out, because I know that we had days where, for example, at Langenburg, we had 12 trucks show up in very trying conditions. Okay. So I had Graham last night, about 11 o'clock, put together my brainwave. Well, we should overlay these and take a look. And here you can see the difference, the stark contrast between what we ordered in a month and what was delivered. So you have some really big order months and not much delivery, and you have some big delivery months and not much ordered. And our goal with this business, in order to scale it as massive as possible, is to smooth all of this out. And that means moving product ahead of time. That means, you know, planning with the early order programs and being extremely strategic in terms of our marketing and our logistics and our storage and all that good stuff. And I think a big mitigator in this fall is that we have partners in BioCycle, the manufacturer, that have committed to a plan to have product in Regina this fall, and some of the numbers that I've heard is as much as half of the product going out in Saskatchewan and Manitoba this year may come out of Regina, which logistically is going to help smooth out this curve and make things more efficient. All of you know that we've been scaling our team, and I'm really excited to say that we're in a great place today to serve you as dealers, to serve the market, to partner with you guys. And one of those additions is a really key asset, I believe. His name is Brent Becker, and he's going to be servicing the Trusted Applicator Network and Eberhard Ag Solutions as an account manager in Regina. And Brent's got a great attitude, and he's got a lot of experience in the agricultural industry, and I want to just take a moment or two to allow Brent to introduce himself to you guys, tell us a little bit about his background, his goals within the network, and why he's excited to work with Eberhard Ag. So Brent, if you could unmute yourself, *6, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you got going on. Let me check here. Can't really, won't let you. Okay, I think I try unmuting everybody else here. I'm going to mute, just hang on here. I just got to put you in star 43. Okay, that's better. We're in question and answer mode, so I just used this other feature. Okay.
Can you hear
Brent.
me there?
We can hear you now, brother.
Perfect.
It's your stage.
Right on. Well, everyone, I'm Brent Becker. I'm from Etonia, Saskatchewan. I just joined the team about 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't be more excited. I currently live in Regina now. I've been here for about 5 years. It's where I went to school, and I've always been involved in the ag industry from a young age. My grandpa farmed, and so starting out from being 12 or 13 years old, I've been working in the industry. From there, I went on to work for a few retails around home, and then I worked for Bayer Crop Science for a few years as well. Most recently, I worked for Farm Credit here in Regina at the corporate office. And I actually used to do some trials with Terry out in Langenburg. There is where my connection comes in. So my plans are basically to be pursuing new applicators here as well as supporting our existing network. So if anyone needs anything from me, I'd be more than happy to come out and lend a hand, whether that's helping you guys get set up on your spreaders or expanding your network or contacting some of the people that you've identified as potential customers going forward. Also, while Lloyd is away here for the next 2 weeks, I will be available for his side of the network there in the north. So if any of his accounts have any questions, you can feel free to give me a call anytime, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. Is there anything else, Dan?
I think that's perfect. I think that's great, and we're really excited to have you on board, Brent. We're really proud of the people that have been attracted to what we're doing, and I just love the enthusiasm of these young guys here. They're excited to break some bones, as I've been saying. So the whole team has come together very nicely in all of our departments here, and I'm really excited to execute this year. Because I know we went from mad scramble crisis mode, Dan had his hands in every department, to having a really great team of people that are going to be working within their unique abilities to handle all kinds of areas of business much, much better than I can. Largely, I'm good at the PowerPoint slides. I think everybody else is going to be helping in awesome ways. So we need coverage, and we need people on the ground, and Brent's a big part of that, and I'm excited. So thank you, Brent. And of course, as I mentioned before, another fellow who's come on board recently is Graham McMurtry. I think it's been a couple months now, so you can star 6 yourself here, Graham. We're going to interact a bit, and Graham's going to help me update.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Graham. So Graham is helping me out with all kinds of stuff, and he's going to be a big resource for the dealers, largely on the backstage. So if you weren't aware, Graham's background's in HR and IT, and in general, just being a cool, suave guy. He's quite a character. Enjoy working with him. It's been fun so far. So I would just give yourself a brief introduction, Graham, and then go into your content, and you can take it away.
Okay. Good morning, guys. My name is Graham McMurtry. I've been working with Dan or Eberhard Ag Solutions for about 2.5, 3 months now. Kind of looked for a sales job, but I just jumped into a little bit of everything, just kind of trying to take as much off Dan's plate as I can so he can do his own thing. So one of the things I work on now is a lot of marketing stuff. I'll be doing a lot of the logistics kind of between from our POs to our logistics broker, I guess, who's going to be dealing with the carriers. I'll be dealing with PO issues, customer follow-up, any kind of issues that come around with hopefully there will be no issues, but any issues that arise from the delivery side, and a little bit of sales help for anybody who needs some information on what we're doing. Okay, I want to go next slide. There we go. So one of our marketing things we're doing for the early order program is we want to get some signs out. So we design these signs. In the middle, we'll put your name and number. We're doing a buy one, get one free special right now. So They're 3 feet by 3 feet. They're going to be $45, and there will be, if you want smaller ones or if you want bigger ones, there is the option. You can send me an email, and I will be contacting most people. I know Lloyd's talked to a few people, and they've already expressed some interest. But if you want bigger ones or smaller ones, you can just let me know, and I'm sure we can figure out a price on those and get them shipped for you. I'm going to be contacting everybody who Lloyd hasn't contacted, and then hopefully we can get the orders and get them printed and get them out within a couple of weeks here.
Just a note, Graham, before I forget that logistical is spelled wrong.
Logistical. Yeah, there it is. Logistical. Okay.
Not that you're going to see that when you're going 115K on a gravel road, but nonetheless.
Good. It's good to have the marketing material spelled right, though.
I concur. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on, sorry.
You want to go this one? So also, another part of the marketing side, we want to brush up on our dealers on our website, just so that our website is one of the best places you can go to get information on our dealer network. Some people have their information up there, but I'm going to be reaching out to pretty much each and every one of you. We can update anything you want on it. I'll send what we already have for some of the people who have stuff up there, and what I'm mostly going to be looking for is a picture and just a little blurb on where you farm, why you farm, what you do, what's your specialties, and maybe a little background or who else is going to be helping you in your dealer network, that kind of stuff.
You know what's fascinating about this,
Are you gonna
Graham,
give us
if I
some
may, is
examples
we've got a dealer in like near Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
We're really expanding into new markets here, but yeah, it's great. I mean, some of our profiles here are really complete, and some of them are not so much. And I think it only speaks to our network if we can get that up to snuff. So, yep. And you're going to talk about this dealer portal here.
Yeah, you want to sign into it there?
I'd love to. I love this button here. Look at this. This is so satisfying just to click on this.
One of the things I wanted to kind of get rid of was the Dropbox, so you didn't have to go into the Dropbox and download things as much. Everything was going to be kind of embedded and be more at your fingertips. So I made this dealer portal on the website. You saw how Dan logged into it on the Trusted Applicators. You go to the bottom and you click into that dealer login button. It's password protected, so the general public can't see it. The password is dealers with a capital D. I'm going to try to keep a live dealer scoreboard, as live as I possibly can. So when I get POs in, I'll be trying to update it probably every day or every second day. Hopefully we're getting that many POs in, and I'll have to be in there every day. Some of the other things we're going to keep in there, webinars. So you don't have to download them. You'll just be able to stream them off the website if you want to skip around and get some fast information. Some of the safety stuff from the toolbox. We're going to be coming up with a new sales process. Some of the stuff has changed as of May 1st. Just the way it flows through everything, that's the old one in there. We're also getting a new PO book that we'll be printing. So once we get the PO book, I'll kind of put an example in there, and I'll update just how the flow of things, and there'll be some new logistical stuff in there as well. Our spreading information is in there, just some of it's basically, I just copied everything out of the Trusted Applicators toolbox. We got a contract, and then our presentations will go there. So I think there's some from Elston and Matt Gosling. And so I just thought it'd be an easier place for people to go. It's always on your phone. You don't have to jump into the Dropbox if it's in your email, you don't got to search for emails and that kind of stuff.
So is that area quite optimized for mobile as well, where dealers can log in and easily get that information on their phone, Graham?
Yeah.
Cool.
Same as Everything else on the website is all optimized for mobile, yeah. And some upcoming events we have. Farm Progress Show, we're planning a party. We did one last year at Rebellion. We're changing the venue to Crave Kitchen and Bar, which is right on Victoria Avenue, downtown, kind of right off Hamilton, right beside Golf Steakhouse, if you know where that is. Entertainment for the party is to be announced. We'll keep you in a little bit of suspense. Food and drink will all be readily available, so bring anybody you want, actually. Doors open at 6:30. There's room for about 100 people in this room, so we'll have our own separate bar, but it's also attached in a bigger venue where there's a public bar you can use and several other rooms, so if you want to go mingle with other people, you can. We're going to be planning another social event at Ag in Motion, July 18th to 20th. We haven't narrowed a date on what we're going to wear or what we're going to do for it yet, but get ready for that one. That one will be just as good as the Farm Progress Show. And I think that's it. Oh,
Perfect. Thanks so much.
If you ever got any questions, comments, or theories on how we can improve anything, you can give me a call or a text or an email anytime. I'm pretty open to constructive criticism or ideas or anything like that. So I'll put my information on the website once we get that all updated. But yeah, you can feel free to reach out anytime.
Thanks so much, Graham. We appreciate the update. And Farm Progress and Ag in Motion are going to be two very important events for us. We're going to have booths at both. I don't know exactly where we're going to be located at Farm Progress, but we will send out a memo to the dealer network as to our location. And if you can bring people by the booth, if you can come work the booth, if you can get people down to the hospitality event, all of that is cumulative in our joint success. I thought Farm Progress was awesome last year, personally. And Ag in Motion is a big one for us. We recently attended the demo meeting, and we're going to have, I believe, 3 different manufacturers physically doing demos with BioCell at the site. We have our own area of the field to apply product in, as well as a massive booth for people to come to. So these are resources for you guys to bring in customers, to hear the story, to be part of the energy. I mean, your response has been incredible at these shows. So let's nail that together. And those hospitality events are so fun. Speaking of fun and cool events that move your world, it's time again for the Trusted Applicators Summer Summit in 2017. We've decided to have it on July 10th and 11th, 2017, and thank the heavens that the Doubletree Inn is available in Regina, Saskatchewan, because anybody who came to the event knows that's a first-class venue for us to get together, talk agronomy, talk sales, talk logistics, network, have a great time, and it's just, if you're currently a dealer, if you're looking at being a dealer, it's an awesome time. And to rub shoulders with other people in the industry and hear what they're doing. And high-quality people. I just had people leaving that event super energized and excited about it. So, again, I have Angela Clausen from Imagine Events, who's going to be running the show in terms of the invites and attendees and logistics and all that. So if you've received an email from Eberhard Ag Solutions on the Trusted Applicator side, and if you're privy to this webinar, you'll be on the list. And we look forward to seeing you there. And we want to send a shout out too for Field Days 2017 to work with your account manager, be it myself or Lloyd or Brent, in terms of getting us out. Let's try and use Elston as a resource as well in terms of him speaking. When he speaks, people tend to listen and tend to act accordingly. And it's a great opportunity to network as well. So I just want to update you really quick on some of the things that we're doing in June. We are doing a super hard push in June in terms of marketing. So we have our early order program in June. We are going to be sending out 1 email per week to our list of over 600 people And every week there's going to be a value message about this product, driving them to order in June. And I know that the circumstances are a little bit different out there this year in terms of cash flow and different scenarios. That's all good. I just think that we need to capitalize on this opportunity to get people in the chute so we can plan, so we can reach our targets. And the emails are going to be part of that. We're starting a ClickFunnel, which I'll talk about shortly. We want to make inventory deals with you guys so that you can order on the early order program and resell it later. There's floor planning opportunities available and the referral program. So I'm getting a question here. What is the pricing for June? That shall be revealed shortly. So in terms of our marketing efforts, we're going to run a ClickFunnel. This will be in order to build our audience online further. It's really our role to build. Jesse, are you the BioSol master from Alberta? I think you are. So yeah, this ClickFunnel is going to be really cool. It's got some sophisticated technology behind it. It's going to have a pixel embedded in the Facebook ad that essentially will follow people around on the internet and retarget them. And the whole idea is that they're going to get a strategy call with us so we can align them with you. And we're not selling any fertilizer direct to farm. We're trying to sell everything we can through dealers. I mean, if some guy's in Timbuktu and there's nobody for 300 miles, I mean, but we're really trying to put everything through the dealers. We've made that decision. And I want you guys to know as much marketing efforts as we might put out there. We're just trying to build demand at the farm gate to funnel it through you guys. You guys are horses in the race. We absolutely need you, and I just don't want anybody to think that we're trying to make direct sales outside of our dealer network. That's not the case. The purpose of the strategy call is for them to talk to me to find out who I should be putting on the lead and having them follow up. So they can literally put their contact information in and schedule an appointment with me. And this will also be a retargeting strategy, a bunch of other crazy stuff. I got this really crazy dude from California who's doing this secret underground marketing stuff for me. And it's pretty crazy stuff. So you'll be seeing that around the interwaves in June. Our vision long term is that a dealer would purchase inventory on early order ahead of season. This is how you guys are going to enhance your margin. It's no secret. It's pretty simple math. You could draw it out on the inside of a cave with some sort of chalk. The dealer trucks the product. We want you guys to share in that opportunity for margin as well by talking to Highway 9 and getting aligned with them. We want you to store the product, and we need to get you guys on the certified pads. We'll be talking more about that in the days to come, and I'll touch on it here, but we want you guys to sell the product to the customer, of course, and tender and spread it and collect. Right now, you don't have to do any of that. You can sell it in November for the November price, and we can do the accounts receivable. We can do the inventory. We can do the trucking. We can find somebody else to do the spreading. You can just sell it and collect your commission, and that's a great model too. But we think that there's going to be a good amount of people in the network that evolve to maximizing their margin. Here it is. It's just kind of like what we've been doing. It's like Coca-Cola. It's been working. Let's keep doing it. It's very, very simple. In Saskatchewan in June, the price is going to be $265, and it goes up $5 a month after that. And so the best possible price that you can get BioSol in Saskatchewan is $265. The best possible price in Manitoba is $285. And guys, this is really no different than we did last year. I think our middle price is $10 higher a ton. We haven't changed our price. We haven't gone crazy with the price. We think we're in a good spot, for value for the producer and to continue growing market share. And we need to grow market share. That's one of our main things. We need to continue making sales to grab as much market share as we can so this thing is ubiquitous. Everybody's using it. It's everywhere. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's flying into your neighbor's fields. No, we want to keep it within the field boundaries. But anyways, it's pretty simple. We just started it a month later, so I guess that's why it's $5 higher. But it's then May, I think last year was $250. Nonetheless, still basically the same price as it has been that we've been selling at. And there's been some fluctuation in fertilizer prices. Ammonium sulfate, I heard, was back over $400. We're still half price of ammonium sulfate. We're still 10, 20, 30% cheaper than Tiger 90. So it's kind of like, what do you want? And I mean, we're going to be I think Elton's going to touch on some of the magic hizzle jizzle that there's extra value in this product agronomically that I don't know that we've even started to really sell. Because once everybody gets the basics of BioSol for dummies, there's going to be a lot more cool stuff that comes down the pipe, and I know Elson's going to speak to that today. So this is the pricing. So you imagine if you could buy at $265, knock off your commission or buy it wholesale or whatever, and then start looking at some of those later prices and start doing the math. There's some margin there for you guys if you want it, if you want to order early. And the way that we're going to manage this, just a logistical note here, we have a new purchase order that Lloyd spent a lot of time on, getting a ton of details in here. The more that you fill out on this purchase order, the better the customer service can be, because all the departments will have the proper information that they need. I won't dwell on that. Yeah, and if you guys, as always, can get us, you know what? Technically, we have to have legals. If you guys want to move BioSol from point A to point B, because it's a TDG, a transportation of dangerous goods, you need to have a legal on the paperwork from A to B when the DOT stops you. When do you need it? Is there primary, secondary roads? Is there a crow sitting on the fence post that we can use as a visual marketing? Is there, site preparations that should be done, environmental concerns, weather? How we're going to do this is we want 40% down, okay, in June to reserve that product and to have money in the kitty for trucking. We don't have a $3 million line of credit for paying the truckers ahead of sending out the product. Now, that being said, when it comes to dealers, there's probably different things we can look at in terms of floor plan. If you're going to inventory product and you want to make that deal with us in June. But in general, I think we need to ask for that 40% down just for the integrity of all of our businesses, for the level of commitment, and it's just like anything. You want the best price. We need that cash up front. But that being said, if there are objections that are going to prevent us from moving forward with the deal, let's talk about it. Let's not let it be an obstruction. But the fact is now we have FCC approval, which is incredible. If they want to finance 100% of the deal, including the spreading, on FCC, we can even work a deal with them where we could wait to invoice them till September 1st. So for their fall product, they're good to go financing that product till March 2019. Okay, that's a big deal. So if guys don't want to put money down, okay, perfect. We got some financing here. If they don't want the financing, then call us. Make sure to call us if they say, we're trusting all of you guys with all of your customers to vouch for them to say, yeah, I know this guy pays, good customer. If they don't have the cash flow in June and they don't want to finance with SEC, before you let the deal go, talk to us. We had to start somewhere, and this is where we've sort of thrown down the gauntlet. And in the new system, the product's going to get invoiced as soon as it leaves the pad, and we will be charging interest because BioCycle had not been charging interest on some of the receivables, and it got crazy because you know how it goes. So anyways, those are the terms. I hope that's really clear. We need to be communicating about that constantly. We want to see how it goes in June. Do we need to calibrate at times? Potentially. If we do, we'll adjust. And I also want to say that now that we're handling the receivables, we intend to have the money flow out to the different partners, whether it's the trucking and the dealer commissions and stuff, on a lot more timely basis. So FCC, that's pretty straightforward. Really all that needs to be done to get FCC going is to fill out this direct referral form. It's in the Dropbox. I don't know if it's on the dealer portal yet. If not, Graham, let's execute on that. And let's just communicate about the accounts receivable. We also have credit cards now within, the ability to take credit cards within Aberhart Ag now as well. And sort of been tossing around, like, it's not cheap to do it, but getting the money ahead of time is good, and providing that service is good, and giving producers the opportunity to get points on their cards is good. So right now we haven't come up with anything where it's going to be extra to do this. But if we do offer this, we want it now. Like, I guess the big thing is you can pay with a credit card, but you got to pay now. and get that money in the chute. So as many of you know, the way that we've decided to skin the cat on logistics is to partner with somebody who's the best in the world at what they do, and that's Garth Karen and Samantha Henke out of Yorkton, Saskatchewan, who operate Highway 9, and they like working with owner-operators, and there's going to be an opportunity for all you guys, if you want, to truck your own product and work with Garth, but the main thing is that they're going to ensure that things get done right. And they've committed to a level of customer service that I think is going to really enhance our businesses here. And we want somebody local, and we think that's going to be a really great partnership. And Graham's going to be working closely with them before the delivery to execute, and then he's going to be following up with the customers after the delivery to ensure that everything's smooth. So if you're interested in trucking biosol, contact myself. I've got Highway 9's information, and I think we've made it. Do we have, Graham, do we have Highway 9's information anywhere on the website? That would be good to have as well as part of the team.
We will be updating everybody on, Highway 9's, all their information will get up there, Brent's, mine, everybody's, but it's not up there yet.
Oh, awesome. No, I appreciate that. So we're really excited to work with them. Dad's had a truck on the road with them for a couple of years as an owner-operator, and just always felt that they're extremely fair and organized and just did things right. Storage, long-term, going to have to be certified to store this product. And we're in the process of doing some permitting, and we submitted a plan to Saskatchewan Environment. We'll be updating you guys on that and talking more about how that actually looks, because that's going to be an important part of our business. Even with production in Regina, we're still going to need to have some certified storage for commercial tendering. So we'll talk more about that. And safety, of course. Remember, there's always great safety resources available. There's likely going to be a degree of auditing this summer in terms of our safety, which means somebody from BioCycle could be showing up to see to what degree people are adhering to the contractual obligations in terms of safety. But these safety people are not there to, excuse the expression, bust anybody's balls. They're there to make sure that everybody is safe and compliant and reducing risk and liability. We've just come to the conclusion that with the contract that we have, the nature of what we're doing with you guys as subcontractors for our business, anything that happens to any one of us happens to all of us. And we're working with people that have had to make that call for people that didn't come home to their families, and we never want to have any of that on our watch. So let's use these safety resources. I mean, BioCycle has safety resources coming out of the yin-yang. Let's engage. I've talked probably as much or more than I normally would want to. It's always hard to rein it in. There's a lot more I could talk to. I hope that's clear. You guys, if you have any questions about the whole structural thing, give me a call, give Brent a call, give Lloyd a call, give Graham a call. That's the early order program. And now, Keep It Simple Solberg, agronomic rock star extraordinaire. Can you star 6 yourself? Elston?
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Am I on?
You're on.
Okie dokie. Good morning, everybody. It's Elston here. Oh, look at that awesome picture of me, sunburnt and fat and in my fungus shirt. Just want to spend a few minutes with you folks to give you a bit of an update about what's going on this year in the background in terms of research. Also want to spend a few seconds at the front end. Earlier on, I came up with this concept of Keep It Simple Sulfur, and then it occurred to me that if I could summarize the last 37 years of my research work with elemental sulfur, I could use the same concept, Keep It Simple Solberg, put it into one piece of paper that would be helpful to you folks when you run into customers or agronomists or naysayers that have objections. And I think I've done that. There's 9 points on the next slide that basically looks at biosol from a Keep It Simple Solberg perspective. I think it addresses most of the objections that are out there It highlights some of the most of the positives of this product, and it's something that if everyone within the dealer network spent a few minutes, a few times reading and basically burning these 9 points into your craniums, you'll be able to deal with almost any objection out there. And of course, we've heard a lot of these tidbits over time, but I thought it would be useful to put it into one sheet. So when it comes to Biosol Premium Plus, one of the concerns is, how do I know that I'm actually getting the sulfur that I'm supposed to be getting? And again, it's guaranteed to be 70%. We all know that most of it is higher than that. And the reason we're confident in that is it gets regularly tested and analyzed, and those analyses are available. Elemental sulfur needs to be converted by organisms from elemental sulfur to sulfate before the crop can use it. There's actually some of those microbes right in the product. So the whole concern about whether or not it's going to be useful in year one is out the window, because the product is pre-inoculated, which makes it incredibly unique. And we're still trying to figure out the exact organisms that are in the compost. And number 3, the high temperatures of composting and the low pHs, pHs of 2 to 2.5, eliminates any pathogens or disease organisms, whether they're human pathogens or plant disease organisms, and those get tested regularly as well. So no concerns there. A lot of people worry about heavy metals. Again, it's Class 1 compost. It's regularly tested. No concern there. That data is available. There's a wide range of particles, which means you have slow, sustained release of sulfur to the crop over a period of years. The rate of application ensures that 220 pounds is 154 plus pounds of sulfur, and the trial data that we've gathered is proving all of this. So we get first-year availability and we get prolonged availability because of the wide range of particle sizes. The literature is absolutely chock full of these kind of conclusions all around the planet for the last 50 years. It's compost, so it needs special handling and attention. You guys all know that. That's why you're trusted applicators. It contains water and it stores outdoors, so it has minimal dusting, minimal risk, absolute minimal risk of ignition, and storage concerns in most cases are very, very limited. Mother Nature has done her work in the compost pile. Let's see, the success key there is covering that. So tillage will have very little effect in terms of its net release, and you don't have to put it on and let it sit there for a number of weeks like farmers need to do with any of the bentonitic sulfurs, Tiger 90, Keg River, Montana. All of them need Mother Nature to work on them in order to optimize short-term availability. Mother Nature's done all of her nasty work in the compost pile, and you don't have to worry about that. And tillage has very little effect, so give her snooze. And then the last one, and we've talked about this a little bit, because of the acidulation around the elemental sulfur particle, that acidulation makes a whole bunch of other nutrients available to the crop. So I think it's one of the best examples of Wallace's Law of the Maximum. You add a nutrient to enhance crop growth, in this case Biosol, amended sulfur compost, and around those particles, because there's some acidulation going on, that solubilizes phosphorus and potassium and magnesium and calcium and copper and boron and zinc and everything else, which increases the uptake of those nutrients by the crop. It's the best example of Wallace's Law that I can think of, and the third-party research that Alberta Innovates did a couple of years ago proves that. Stuff that I was involved with 2 decades ago proved it then, and I think it's pretty clear from that third-party research that that this is a really good example of Wallace's Law, and it's something that I think we can hammer away at as we grow forward, because it's a decided benefit in many operations. So the whole concept here with this one page was to summarize 37 years of elemental sulfur experience, more recently summarize the research experience with Biosol, and put it in one page so that agronomists, trusted applicators, sales guys, etc., can basically deal with most of the objections out there and or highlight the very many positives of Biosol sulfur-amended compost. So I hope that's helpful. This year, we're going to be doing a bunch more research, and all of it's going to be third-party verified or carried out. So, you know, a bunch of concern again last year about the in-house research. Well, we're going to get around that by doing a whole bunch of third-party stuff, and if we do anything internal, it will be third-party verified. So we're going to have a bunch of small plots scattered around, some field scale stuff, new field scale plots. We're going to revisit some old trials as well, just to get over that one objection or one concern about Biosol not being available in year 4 and 5. We're finally, in some cases, at that stage where we can go out and sample those old field strips and verify that it is available at year 4 or 5. We've got some new products in the hopper that we're evaluating. We're looking at rock phosphate, wastewater, lime, gypsum, a number of things. And right now we've got about 800 soil samples ready to be analyzed and about 500 tissue samples to be analyzed from last year. Basically waiting to nail down a lab that's going to give us some good numbers and a good price to get that data out. We're going to install a bunch of new sites. We're going to revisit some old sites, and we're going to have at least 3 sites where we're going to be tissue sampling the old tissue and the new tissue over the course of the growing season on a weekly basis. So that means we're going to be taking somewhere in the order of 10 to 12 tissue samples, old tissue, new tissue. At maturity, we're going to grab the grain and the straw and analyze that. And again, just to show that Biosol is releasing consistently over the growing season. The comparison there will be a check treatment with no sulfur, a farmer standard, Biosol, and Tiger 90 or Keg River 90 as the elemental standard. Continue, Daniel. Here's some of the third-party researchers that we're going to be working with. Fairly well recognized in the industry. There may be others. And so again, all of the research will be third-party carried out or third-party verified. Continue, Daniel. So some of the treatments for the standard trials will be very simple. There'll be a check treatment, a farmer standard, so whatever the farmer normally does before seeding and after seeding elemental sulfur, either in the form of Biosol or in the form of Tiger 90. There'll be tissue samples, yield, soil analysis, and again, ad nauseum, it'll be all third-party done. So next panel. Here's some stuff that Neil's got going at his place, and basically those little green containers are there to mimic composting conditions, and within those green containers are a number of different treatments where we're basically looking at different products, and where we're looking at methods of speeding up the residence time or the composting time so that product can be moved through the system more quickly, but also with more accuracy or more more confidence. So these are going on right now at his place near Okotoks, and again, this is all going to be third-party verified, and it's actually a really cool concept. These are cubic meter containers with various combinations of this, that, and the next thing in there to look at particle size distribution, etc. Next, Daniel. So from these containers, we're going to look at composting temperature. We're going to look at composting pH. We're going to track particle size distribution over the course of the experiment. We're going to attempt to nail down the microbial community and their dynamics, and we're going to regularly monitor disease organisms, et cetera, et cetera. The containers will be sampled every couple of weeks and for at least 12 months, and we're pretty confident that what will come out of this will be some opportunities to speed up the composting period and obviously give us some idea of what the new products are going to look like or how they're going to behave relative to Biosol Premium Plus. Next down. Just want to remind everybody that the biggest concern out there is that elemental sulfur in general is not available in year one, and Biosol Premium Plus is especially not available in year one. These two pictures that Dan's going to show you are 19 days after application, where at 33 days after application we had a 21% yield increase over the no sulfur treatment and a 21% yield increase over the Tiger 90 treatment. So there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever when a plot runs up and kicks you between the legs this hard that we have any concern about short-term availability. The bugs are in the compost. There's a bit of sulfate in there already because the conversion process is already beginning in the composting process, and it's obviously cranking out really rapidly because there is a fraction of particles in this product that are extremely small and very reactive when they're put in the right circumstance. So do not worry about short-term availability. Next, Daniel. Again, this is from last year. This is from a sulfur-deficient site. The concern is, well, we got to put it on the fall. No, you don't. You can put it on the fall. You can put it through snow. You can put it in the spring. You can put it on after the crop is seeded, for that matter. And what you're looking at here is the newest leaves for you guys that want to be checking with some of your customers about whether or not Biosol is doing the trick. Always sample the newest tissue because sulfur is one of those nutrients that once it's locked up in the plant, it cannot be remobilized and moved to the new tissue. Always sample the new tissue because that's where the deficiency is going to show up. And what you have here is spring applied Biosol versus a check strip immediately adjacent to it. These are field scale trials, and you can see that in the tissue where the Biosol is applied, it's almost 3 times greater amount of sulfur in the new leaves versus the new leaves in the non-Biosol side. Again, just clearly showing that Biosol is available very quickly. It can be applied in the spring. There's plenty of evidence that it can be applied after the crop is seeded. There is no concerns in terms of availability here. So just wanted to highlight that again. Next, Daniel. So Neil and I are going to go on a bit of an analytics tour here shortly. We're going to be in Quebec talking to a microbiologist guru there who seems to think she can help us narrow down the organisms that are in this product. We're going to spend some time in Ontario talking to a lab and another guru in the lab. The reason that we're going to be in Ancaster, Ontario is I tracked down a lab that seems to have an excellent array of analytical services. They come from the mining industry, so they're quite open-minded to new techniques in agriculture, and they seem to be extremely cost-effective. So we're going to be seeing 2 microbiology gurus in Quebec and Ontario, and a lab in Ontario, and then we're going to be meeting with another microbial expert in Regina on this tour. So the whole concept here is to secure a lab that we're all confident with, that will give us good numbers for a good price, and to identify some folks that will hopefully help us identify the microbial community that's at work in these compost piles. So that's coming up, and we'll share back with you. So that brings my presentation to an end. If there's some questions, I'm more than happy. I'm always available by phone or email or text. If you guys run into any issues out there, that would be great. You don't have to limit your questions or whatever to just Biosol Premium Plus. In this big fat Norwegian head of mine, I carry around a fair bit of agronomic information that can be helpful in other areas. And so I hope that was helpful.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is? That because of your large Norwegian head that's like related to your level of intelligence? Is that a thing?
Well, I don't know. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, it's always good to hear from Elston, and obviously there's a lot of interesting things going on. I think there's some great stories coming up from an agronomy perspective. We're going to be able to tell to our customers in different ways. Thanks, everybody, for being on the webinar. I know it's a busy time of year. I sense that everybody's still out and finishing up with the spring and seeding and getting spraying and stuff like that, but we got a good selling season ahead of us. Thanks for your attendance, and please contact us if you have any more questions. This is going to be recorded. I'm going to send it out to the network, and keep calm and sulfur on. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah, thank you, Elston, so much.
Thanks, everybody.